Aloha guys, this is Dr. Steve and this is chapter 12 on e-commerce in the textbook for the class, Web Development and Design Foundations with HTML5. This is just kind of a quick overview of e-commerce. We're going to try to define exactly what e-commerce is, talk about benefits and risks, describe some business models, look at security issues, talk about EDI a little bit, trends and projections, various issues related to e-commerce, and options for ordering and payment processing. Okay, so what exactly is e-commerce? Something that we think we know what it is, but maybe it's a little different. Okay. So anyway, e-commerce, E stands for electronic, right? Commerce is the buying and selling of things. So we're doing this financial transactions over the internet, basically. This is not terribly complicated, but it's more than we might know. Some advantages are some perceived, anyway, reduced costs, some increased customer satisfaction. It costs less, customers are going to be happy, more effective data management, everything is electronic, you should be able to manage this data better, and potentially, underword potential, higher sales. Okay, you can reach a broader demographic. And of course, it's convenient, faster comparison shopping for customers and a wider selection of goods, right? But of course, there are some risks. For the business, you need a robust, reliable website. For the buyer, there are some possible fraudulent transactions. Okay, and some customers could be reluctant to purchase things online. And of course, there are increased competitors out there. There's a lot more people. So advantages and disadvantages for everyone. More for consumers, possible security issues. I think this applies for buyers and sellers. Possible privacy issues, purchasing from photos and descriptions. That means you're just looking at an image, not the real thing. And possible difficulty with returns. I haven't had any problems, but some people have told me they do have problems. Okay, so there are four basic business models. You have B2C, business to consumer. That's your general retail outlet, right? B2C. B2B, business to business. So it's when one business buys from another business. Consumer to consumer, might be like an eBay kind of thing. Business to government. So when business sells to government, okay, so that's B2G. All right, so now we have the data exchange, EDI. This has been going on actually for quite a while, since, goodness, early 60s, I guess. Banks have been doing this. Now there are slightly newer methods of doing this, but EDI is still around. I come across people all the time who are still doing EDI. Maybe updated a little bit, but they're still doing it. It has not died. E-commerce is big. Look, clothing, accessories, and footwear is a $58.2 billion industry. Furniture, home furnishings, $32.4 billion. This is online. This is just online, okay? Electronics and appliances, $30 billion. Sporting goods, $13 billion. Books and magazines, 12, etc., etc. This is big time. So who is on the internet? Well, as you can see from this table, most everybody. Some categories, some demographics, 99%, some a little less. But it's a lot of people online, yes. So the competition is great. And all this information is from fairly reliable sources. You can look them up yourself here. So what are some commerce issues? E-commerce issues, intellectual property. People steal things online. That's why Disney goes after anybody who puts up mouse ears. Security always an issue. Fraud, taxation, international commerce. Taxation has become a big one, whereby some companies do not pay local taxes and local governments are now going after some of these businesses, saying you have to pay taxes. Usually the rule of thumb is if you have a brick and mortar store in that state, then you must pay the tax. If you don't have a brick and mortar, okay, you're forgiven, I guess. Security is important. You have encryption. You know, it's where you encrypt the transmission, and decryption is when you do the opposite, try to take the encrypted text and make sense of it. Some sort of algorithm or key is necessary to do this kind of thing. And there's several different types. We're not going to go into great detail here, but you have symmetric, asymmetric, and hash encryptions. Those are the three biggies. You have SSL, secure socket layers. You'll see this on websites all the time. You have a little padlock on the URL in your address bar. It just tells you that they're using some sort of encryption, and you should always look for that whenever doing any kind of transaction. So symmetric is also called a single key encryption. You have the same key used both sides, and it's used a lot, and it's fast. You have asymmetric. It's also called public key encryption. It's a little bit different. You have a public key and a private key, so they're not exactly equal. So hence the term asymmetric. Hash encryptions. I have a number of friends who love to use these. It's just a one-way encryption. It encrypts things going out usually. It's fast and it's easy enough to use. SSL, you have to have a certificate on the server that helps ensure its security. So you're looking for that HTTPS protocol. Okay, and yeah, that costs a little bit, takes a little bit of work to get that certificate. Sometimes people don't do that. It's unfortunate. Secure socket layers are really important, and it keeps things a little bit more secure. Okay, let's move on. All right, the digital certificates have a public key, effective date, expiration date, details. Yes. Yeah, whenever possible, you want to use an SSL connection, and you can get these kinds of authorities through VeriSign. It's one of the most common places. Okay, so at this point, you should know a little bit about advantages, disadvantages, and understand a little bit about SSL. We're not going to be doing anything big here. So how do you do, what are the methods used for e-commerce? You have credit cards, you have stored value cards, smart cards, digital cash, a number of ways of paying for things, right? But where you go, it just depends on what you want to do or where you want to do your business. Each place does it a little bit different. Okay, I should know a little bit about these things. Again, this is just kind of an overview, so we're not going to pay too much attention here. You should just be kind of familiar with e-commerce. And that's it. Aloha.